spotlight. Okay, so many of you will remember this time capsule, either from your time previously at St John's, or if you are here at the moment, you will have walked past it. You may not have noticed it because it's been on a ledge right up in the ceiling along what is often referred to as the infant corridor or the library corridor. So we've got it down this morning. It's quite heavy, and you may have noticed it's got a plaque on it, and I don't think you can read it, but the plaque says this time capsule was made in 1996, should be opened in 25 years time in the year 2021. That is now. It was very, very well sealed. We've taken the screws out, and then we've had to take a chisel to it to undo the glue. So it was really, really well sealed. So when you take it off, I'm going to shoot the camera slightly down so you can see it. Okay, you can take the lid off. We might have to get a new one for Phil. It's got a piece of rubber on the top of it as well, which is quite stuck down quite well. Go. That will have kept it all nice. And I think if you're watching this and you're an ex-pupil, it was buried originally. Somebody told us that it was buried in the ground, and it was obviously dug up quite quickly afterwards and put up in the school to preserve it. So inside our time capsule are lots of envelopes. So we're just going to pull some of these envelopes out. Now, this first one has got a timestamp on the outside, and it says letters to a friend in the future. So there's a lot of letters here to friends in the future. So we will open these up and we will have a look at some of these. This one is what I will be doing in 25 years time. That's going to be interesting to see what some people wrote. This is magazines. So in this envelope, it's magazines and newspapers from when this was filled. So when we open this up, it's got front covers and newspapers and magazines. They've gone kind of yellow, but these are magazines from that day. And a fashion magazine. Okay. And that looked like a film one. So there's lots of magazines here, which is interesting. We shall see. They don't actually look like they've changed that much in a way, but I think they are probably a lot less common to have around magazines and newspapers than they were 25 years ago, because we read much more on the internet today than we did then. This one is the newspaper, The Times. Now, The Times is quite a big newspaper if you've never come across it, the children who are watching in school. And this has got the headlines from... Oh, this does look a bit old-fashioned now. This is from Saturday, March the 23rd in 1996. And it all talks about the beef industry being in ruin, because we had at the time something going round called, I'm not even going to try and say the name of it, which meant it was called mad cow disease, some people called it. And it meant that people were being told not to be eating beef burgers. And they're saying here about how it's ruined everybody's thing. And the pictures look quite old-fashioned as well. Okay, so there's the Times, which will be interesting to see. Oh, look, now, if you're in school at the moment, this is probably more interesting. So somebody's put a football magazine in, The Match. There we go. So this is dated Saturday, December the 2nd. Actually, this is dated 1995. That's a bit of a cheat, but still, there we go, The Match. And more magazines. There's lots of sort of interesting things on here. Oh, and there's the Basingstoke Outlook, which is the community magazine that used to go around, which I don't think they do any longer. And that'll have here St Michael's Church. And that's got lots of information about what's going on. And I opened the first page, and the first page says new museum for Basingstoke to be opened. That is Milestones. So the new museum that they're opening is Milestones, and lots of you will have been to Milestones. Well, 25 years ago, it was just opening. I remember it being opened. I'm sure there's other staff here who do. What else have we got in here? Oh my goodness me, it's all stuck together. Some more writing that we can read. So I'm going to bring some packets round into class for people to read. More newspapers, card 25 it says. There must be lots. Now this was a bit thicker. Oh yeah, more newspapers. Awful lot of newspapers in here that we can have a look at. The Daily Mail, there's a different type of newspaper. I wonder what the front cover looks like. Ah, that's interesting. Lots of you. This is the Diana car crusher. This is Prince William's mum, and this is from the 23rd of March 1996, which seems must have been afterward, some talk of it. She died the year before, and there was lots of conversation about the circumstances in which she died, and that is the headline on there, and that is Prince William's mum. So if you, or Prince George's granny, if you watch Prince George in the box at the football recently, jumping up and down when we scored, and then very sad when we didn't win, that is his granny. That's quite useful. Put that down. Then we've got a big one here that's got the Gazette in it. So this is the local paper for the time. I wonder what's on the headlines of here. Oh, do you know, they're talking about building the retail park. The headline on here is that they're building a brand new retail park, which has got McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Toys R Us and Currys. So this is the Brighton Hill Retail Park that lots of you will have gone to. And this is a big debate about whether it should be built or not, or whether they shouldn't build it because the town centre will miss out. So things that we take for granted can show us that 25 years ago, they were just being built. And this is talking about Old Basing on the Basing View, which is the big buildings just outside town, about redeveloping them. So some things never change because they're just having that debate at the moment. And then last but not least, there is an Express in here, and that is it. There isn't anything else. So that's all they put in, lots and lots of newspapers and lots of letters. We thought there was going to be a tape, but there isn't a tape in here. There's nothing of that kind unless it's in one of the envelopes that I haven't opened. So that's everything at the moment. I'm going to bring around the classes all the things, one of the envelopes, that you can all have a look at the letters and we can share them together. Okay, so for that moment, I'm going to stop and we're going to then have a look at it off camera and I'll bring them round. Okay, thank you, everyone.